Welcome children. We will continue the next video. The economic policies. The economic policies followed by the British government aimed at. We don't have a question. What was the main aim of their economic policies? Extracting more revenue. As much as possible, they wanted to collect more money. That's what revenue. And point number 2, finding sources of cheap raw materials. Expanding the Indian market so that the British goods could be sold in large quantities. That was their main aim. How they could earn more money. So they followed the policy mainly on the land revenue. Land revenue was the chief source of income at that time. Okay. Now, in the land revenue, they followed 3 policies. That the policies will be coming in the next page. Now, what was their policy regarding the land revenue? Come. B3. B ka 3. The answer. B3 answer is here. How did they change the land revenue system? Point number 1. The revenue was collected by the officials of the company. Point number 2. It was fixed and had to be paid in cash. Early they were collecting in kind, that what you could give the crops. But now the farmers have to pay in cash. Point number 3. No concession was made during years of crop failure. If the crops failed, yet the peasants, the farmers, have to pay. If a peasant could not pay the revenue, he was evicted. Evicted means removed from his land if he is unable to pay the land revenue. These are the 3 points. Answer of B3. Now, come. The income, its timely collection was very important for the company. They thought these revenues should be collected in time so that they could run the company. For this, they followed various steps. Various steps to collect the land revenue. Turn to the next page. Page number 6 to 62. Page number 6 to 62. In this. For the smooth revenue collection, they followed 3 methods. That is B4. B ka 4. What were the 3 systems they followed? Permanent settlement, Mahalwari system, Rayatwari system. These 3 systems one by one we will look into. This is the answer of B4. Come down first. What is that permanent settlement? Permanent settlement. C3 ka A answer. C3A. Which part of India the permanent settlement was executed? The part of Bengal and Bihar. Underline. Bengal and Bihar, the permanent settlement was executed. By whom? By Lord Cornwallis. Underline please. Lord Cornwallis. Now, next. What are the important points of the permanent settlement? C3 ka B answer. C3 ka B answer. Point number 1. The revenue to be collected from an area was fixed permanently with no scope for revision later. Point number 2. The local zamindar was asked to collect revenue from the peasants. Point number 3. Every year he had to pay the fixed amount by a certain date. Point number 4. If he was unable to collect more revenue from the land, he could keep the surplus amount. If he could collect more money, he can keep it to himself. Point number 5. But if he could not pay the stipulated amount, he would lose his zamindari rights. So these 5 points, answer of C3 ka B. Next, the last line. C3 ka C. C3 ka C. Point number 1. To ensure fixed and large income without the trouble of collecting it from each peasant. Point number 2. It also created a new social class, landlords, who were loyal to the British. These are the 2 points. C3 ka C. Next, we will come to the Mahalwari system, the second system. Just a minute. What is that Mahalwari system? The second system, the Mahalwari system which they carried. Okay? Come. Just finding little difficult to keep the book. The Mahalwari system, what was it? Come. The Mahalwari system in 1830. According to this, C4 ka A. We are going to mark C4A. Point number 1. The Mahalwari system was introduced in western Uttar Pradesh, parts of Madhya Pradesh and Punjab. Point number 2. In these areas, land was owned collectively by a group of villages called Mahals. Point number 3. The task of collecting the revenue and paying it to the company was given to the headman of each Mahal. Okay, these 3 points enough. C4 ka A. Next, the last paragraph. C4 ka C. C4 ka C. What is that Raitwari system? Point number 1. The Raitwari system was devised by Thomas Munro. Point number 1. The Raitwari system. Point number 2. It was introduced in parts of Madras, that is Chennai, and Bombay presidencies. Point number 3. Under this system, the company made revenue settlement directly with the ryat or the peasant. Point number 4. The peasant was recognized. Point number 4. The peasant was recognized as the owner of the land as long as he paid the land revenue. Enough. This is the answer of C4 ka C. C4 ka C. The next page, page number 63. Come. C4 ka B. C4 ka B. C4 ka B. What was the nature of the village economy at that time? Point number 1. Land became saleable commodity which could be bought, sold or mortgaged. Point number 2. A new class of zamindars who were loyal to the British and completely indifferent to the welfare of the peasants arose in society, which means the zamindars they were very faithful to the Britishers. They were least bothered about the farmers. They forced the farmers to give the revenue in order to pay to the Britishers. That's point number 2. Point number 3. The condition of the peasants means farmers, grew worse, and gradually most of them became landless. Many of the farmers could not keep their lands as the revenue was high, as they were unable to pay. Point number 4. The British encouraged the production of commercial crops such as the cash crops such as indigo, jute, oil seeds, sugarcane, tea, coffee and cotton. The Britishers forced the farmers to cultivate the commercial crops for their benefit. So this is the answer of C4 ka B. Come down. Next, the industry and trade. So industry and trade, in this what is explained is the Indian economy, that is the rural economy, was very strong. Most of the villages produced the cotton and silk textiles in India. The foreigners from America, from England, from Europe, from various countries came to India to buy the clothes and sell it in the foreign countries, and they earned huge profits. But when the Britishers came to India, almost they destroyed our economy. What is that? The British period. How did they that? Now C5. C ka 5. C5 answer here. Few points. The Industrial Revolution revolutionized the textile industry in Britain. As the Industrial Revolution, they made machine-made clothes. Our Indian could not compete with them. That's point number 1. Point number 2. Next, come down. Next dot. The British government imposed high duties on Indian clothes coming into Britain. Point number 3. The conquest of Bengal and eventually the whole of India opened up a vast market for manufactured textiles from Britain. So Indian economy got spoiled. Point number 4. The British began to follow the policy of one-way free trade. This meant that the British textiles coming into India did not pay the duty, while the Indian textiles sent to England had to pay prohibitive duties. The last point, the point number 4, okay, I will explain. So these are the 4 points, C5 ka. The 4th point alone, B5. The 4th point alone, B5. What is that 4th point, sir? Whenever the Britishers bring their textile, their cloth to India, they need not to pay any tax. But whereas the Indians, when they send their goods to Britain, they have to pay very high tax. Thus, the tax was so much, Indian clothes could not be sold there because the high tax. Thus, the Indian economy went down very badly. So, this is the 4th point. The B5 answer also. Okay. Now, with this, today we come to the end of our class. Thank you, children. And I will be sending in the assignments some of the short questions typed, and I will send. Kindly write them and learn them. Thank you, children. Bye.